Good morning, Chattahoochee United Methodist Church and friends. Today is November 29th. Our text for today is found in Mark's Gospel, chapter 13, starting in verse 24. But in those days following that distress, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. At that time men will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. And he will send his angels and gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of the heavens. Now, learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near. Even so, when you see these things happening, you know that it is near, right at the door. I tell you the truth, this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things have happened. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. No one knows about that day or hour, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Be on guard, be alert. You do not know when that time will come. It's like a man going away. He leaves his house in charge of his servants, each with his assigned task, and tells the one at the door to keep watch. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know when the owner of the house will come back, whether in the evening, or at midnight, or when the rooster crows, or at dawn. If he comes suddenly, do not let him find you sleeping. What I say to you, I say to everyone, watch. Today is the first Sunday of Advent. Be ready. I'm not sure about you, but it's still November. And I'm still thinking of it that way. I did go Christmas shopping already this week, and that's something that I don't think I've ever done before in my life. Black Friday, of course, is now upon us and has been extended to more than just one day. I was driving on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, and I turned on the radio to hear these words by the Carpenters. Greeting cards have all been sent. The Christmas rush is through, but I still have one wish to make. I wish I could make the sound of the tone arm on a record player as it scratches across the record. What? I wish I had a picture of my face at the time. I turned the station off. The greeting cards have all been sent? The Christmas rush is through? No! For heaven's sakes. Slow down for a cotton-picking minute. My turkey leftovers aren't gone yet. And now it's Advent? The very first of the first. It's a brand new church year. And we start with Mark's Gospel this year. But Mark doesn't even have a story of shepherds or angels or Mary and Joseph or even a baby. And not only that, we begin towards the end. We're in chapter 13. And the very next thing after this is the Lord's Supper and then the arrest. We're in a hurry here. We can't slow down enough to think about a young Mary or even John the Baptist at this point. But every year we begin with us preparing for the second coming of Jesus. And it all starts with one of the disciples here making a statement about the temple. It must have been a magnificent building. And he says, "Look, teacher, what massive stones, what magnificent buildings." And they were. Herod was a master of construction, and his temple expansion was absolutely marvelous. Then Jesus says this, "Do you see all these giant buildings? Not one stone here will be left on another. Every one will be thrown down." Now Peter, James, and John, and Andrew certainly had their curiosity piqued. So they asked, "Tell us, Jesus, when will this happen? And what will be the signs that they're all about to be fulfilled?" Well, Jesus did. The temple will be destroyed one day, and all manner of things will happen. History will unfold its story of many terrible things, and yes, God's people will not be immune to it. Then after all of that, the big cosmic events will take place. Everyone will see these and they will know. But until then, what? Jesus has a group in front of him, and their immediate task is to hold it together and believe that what they are about to see is God's plan. They're going to have to see their friend and Lord be beaten, falsely accused, tried, and crucified. Then after he's been raised from the dead and ascended to the Father in heaven, then it's their task to keep it together. That's the thing. We've been doing this thing for a long time. It's been about 2,000 years. Jesus says that the angels don't know the time, that he doesn't even know the time. God knows the time. So while we might have questions like the disciples, our job is to do the same thing that Jesus asked them to do. To stay awake, to watch, to not try and get ahead of God by figuring it all out. And I don't just mean the end of time stuff. I mean our own stuff. Let me give you this example. Recently, I had started the countdown. I mean, like, I have 17 months left until I retire from White County Middle School. 15 if you don't count the summer. Then I'm going to do this and this and this and that, and you get the idea? Then I got shingles and strep and COVID. And then the realization hit me, hey, people really do die from this. And in fact, they're dying right now. So be careful and stay awake and watch. And do what God has called you to do. Don't try and figure out all the things that you know God has already figured out for you. And in fact, the entire universe is in God's plan. I bet just by you being here today means that you have faith to believe that God will see his plan for your life through. So God's got you. God's got this. So here's the plan again. Watch. Stay awake. Be aware. However you want to say it, be attuned to where you are spiritually and live out the life God has called you to live. So Advent, first Sunday, is here. Be ready. Be aware. Be awake. God is leading us, his people, from the four corners of the earth. The big cosmic message is for God's people to always live a life that is ready. Now, may we experience Jesus this Advent. May we experience the Jesus of history. May we experience the Jesus of mystery. May we experience the Jesus of majesty. Amen. And I'll see you next week.